York's classic rock, Q1043.
I am so honored to have with us the one and only John Leguizamo, who is making his directorial debut in the movie Critical Thinking, which you can start watching Friday, virtual cinema, VOD, and digital. And he stars in it, he directs it. This is a movie for our times, a movie that couldn't have come at a better time with what's going on in our world. It tells the story from 1998 of 5 Latinx and Black teenagers from one of the toughest underserved neighborhoods in Miami who went to win the National Chess Championship. And it focuses on their teacher, Mr. T. Martinez, who is played by John Leguizamo. He is the mentor. He is the glue. He is the inspiration that got these kids where they went in this remarkable story. But I want to mention one thing to you first, John Leguizamo.
Yeah, please.
You taught me something new, because I was looking at the press materials, and I have to be honest, I never heard the term Latinx until I looked at your press materials. I always, it's a gender neutral
Yes,
term.
It's including women. It's giving women their credit, in everything, and they deserve it, because before they were sort of excluded. When you heard Latino, it's a masculine term. You assume it was a guy.
Right.
You just naturally assume it's a dude, but not anymore. Latinx is gender neutral, as it should be.
Right. So thank you for that, because I learned something new. So tell me, how did this all come about, and how did you end up making your directorial debut on this project?
Well, it came to me as an offer from Carla Berkowitz, who had the rights for 20 years with Harry Chapin, and they came to me to offer me the part, and I fell in love with it, because I go, this is me. I understand these kids. I was one of those ghetto nerds, that you're in these tough neighborhoods, and you don't really fit in because you like to read too much, or you're a ghetto intellectual, and you don't really have a posse. And so these kids, this teacher, Mary Martinez, created this safe space for them, where, ghetto intellectual kids who didn't want to go the wrong way, who didn't want to play football, could find a place to be themselves, and chess saved them.
Do you play chess?
I played chess. I used to play downtown on Washington Square Park. There used to be all these champion chess players. They always beat me, but they let me sit down for $20.
Well, the term critical thinking, it's really used in a dual way in this movie, because you need critical thinking to play chess, but you also need critical thinking to get through life.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's the beautiful thing about chess. It was able to teach these kids how to make better choices in their lives when, obviously they didn't have great opportunities, but they had incredible talent. They had the intellect, the passion. They would go play chess at the chess clubs, local chess clubs, till 2 or 3 a.m. in the morning. They were playing chess 24/7. And some of them, had some tough choices to make in their lives. Ito being the grown man now, he's 40, and he says chess saved his life. It taught him a different way to exist, and he found that way through the Mary Martinez and his elective, this after school special class.
Really, it was almost a class where it was like almost a throwaway class as far as the school was concerned. Yeah. It was, almost instead of detention type of class.
It's like the arts too. The first programs when they make cuts in public schools, it's the arts, and programs like these that are so invaluable, because they teach you different ways to think about math problems, to think about all kinds of different problem solving. And they're the first one to go. And public schools with this voucher, I'm against the voucher, just because, yeah, it's great for charter schools, but what happens to the rest of the kids that don't get into these charter schools? Are they going to become the forgotten generation? I mean, there's one magic bullet for public schools: money. There's no cure. There's no magic, salve. It's just money. You give them money, and these schools function great. And the problem is that Latinx and Black schools are not getting the money. That's the problem, and that's where these kids fall off the edge of the earth. They become forgotten, and you waste all these beautiful geniuses. The future geniuses of America are in these schools and in these neighborhoods.
How old are your kids?
19 and 20.
Oh,
Latin
okay.
twins.
Okay. And how are they handling the pandemic? You're in New York, right?
Yeah. I'm upstate right now. They're soldiering up. They're not having the best time of their lives. I mean, they're trapped with us. I mean, that can't be fun. What 19-year-old, 20-year-old wants to be trapped with their parents since March? As funny as I think I am, they've stopped thinking that a long time ago. They need to be with friends, and they haven't been socializing. So it's been tough for them. I mean, we're all a little depressed because of it. But now my son is in college. My daughter is also going to college. And at least they were there, some group of friends, even though they're distancing and wearing masks and not allowed to. My son's not allowed to leave the campus. At least they were amongst friends and peers.
And how about you? What has the pandemic been like for you? I mean,
Well,
you're in the business where everything shut down.
oh yeah,
Everyone was shut down.
not everything, but mostly
Everyone.
everything.
Yeah.
Because I was still able to do voiceover work, and they figured that out. I'm in The Mandalorian coming up. I'm the voice in Papa John's, the new reinvented Papa John's. So, and then in the animated series coming out this September on Nickelodeon, I was able to do that. They send me recording studios, and I built them up at home in your closet, believe it or not, and you record, and then you send it in, and they put it in and make it look like magic. But I was in a series called The Power for Amazon, a powerful feminist themed book, and they shut down. I was supposed to shoot March to August. Now I'm going to shoot in November and maybe in England.
Wow.
But
Well,
I've been very creative though. I've been very creative. I mean, this negative administration and this COVID and the lack of work has helped me focus on the passion things that I was not getting to. I'm lucky because I'm a 1%er. Obviously it's easier for me than the rest of the world, because I have enough money to survive.
I'm speaking with John Leguizamo. You know him from the Ice Age franchise. You know him from Carlito's Way. You know him from Summer of Sam. He's an Emmy nominee from When They See Us and Waco, and also won a special Tony in 2018 for Latin History for Morons. Can you even use that word anymore, John Leguizamo?
I think morons is still cool. I think morons is
it
still
okay?
Safe. It's a safe word.
I'm not so sure, but now there you go. That's one of your passions, right? Theater, and
that's not coming back. That's not coming back till January. They were hoping September, but that's null and void. I'm talking to the different theater groups in New York: The Public, New Group, Atlantic Theater, which is David Mamet's theater, and we're doing a lot of Zooming. Zooming rehearsals, Zooming readings, Zoom charity events, and then that's what you can do. Is create these Zoom environments and stay creative.
There's a lot of discussion of the future of movies. I mean, I'm sure when you shot Critical Thinking, which again, you could see on virtual cinema, VOD, and digital starting Friday, you didn't dream that this would all be VOD. This was supposed to open in theaters, right?
I was supposed to be in the South by South Film Festival, which is one of my favorite festivals. And we would have been the big buzz, I'm sure. and it didn't happen, and then we got into a lot of other film festivals and they also didn't happen. And then theaters, I thought we were going to end up being in theaters. And now I think we're going to be in a few theaters in a few cities, but not in my favorite cities like New York and Chicago and LA,
Well,
Miami.
well, there's been talk that moving into the future, I mean, you get used to watching on demand. I
You
mean,
do, you do.
watching TV, we binge watch. We find
Yeah, yeah.
something we like, and then we watch it until we're finished with it. So, moving forward, how do you think the movie business is going to evolve?
I don't think we're moving away from the theater experience. I mean, movie theater experience or theater experience, because it's an event. Yeah, you watch it at home. It doesn't have the same impact on you when you sit in a room crowded with people who are experiencing the same thing you are. It hits you twice as hard. It feels like a big event, and we're herd animals. You know, we need to be with each other, and that creates an experience. I don't think we'll ever give up theaters. I mean, that's a powerful thing since the beginning of film that's it's existed.
Actually, one of the ideas that I heard that's being floated is that there may be just 20, blockbuster films that are going to be pushed into theaters, and that everything else will be available on demand. Because, I mean, look at the reality
Yeah, no,
of
yeah, yeah, I hear
going
you.
to the theater, how much it is.
Yeah,
People are still nervous about health. Who knows when that's going to end? But like I said, it's almost like the genie out of the bottle. Um, Once you experience something and you have an easier way of doing this, it's kind of hard to go back to the old ways.
yeah.
I hear what you're
For
saying.
us, but for kids, I mean, going to see a horror movie at home by yourself, I mean, that's terrifying and too scary. But if you're in a crowd of people who are screaming and you start laughing, it becomes this shared event. And kids are not going to want to give that up. Young folk are not going to want to give that up. I mean, I'm way past the age of horror movies. You know, politics right now is a horror for me. That's enough of a horror movie for me. I don't need to go get scared anywhere else in life. But I don't think movies are going to go away. I mean, they love seeing their comic book movies en masse, you know, and I love going to film forum and seeing my old classics with a bunch of film nerds and sitting there and everybody, you know, eating our popcorn very quietly and everybody commenting how much they know about Fellini and Ingmar Bergman. And you just feel really smart and it's a shared experience.
I started out this show by saying that your movie, Critical Thinking, is really a perfect movie for our times. I mean, what is going on in Kenosha? I mean, it's just
Oh,
day
so
after
sad. So
day,
sad.
and it gets more and more shocking.
Yeah.
What do you think we need to do to get past this and to start healing?
Yeah, I mean, we need a lot of healing. I think we need a new president who is not divisive, who's not dog whistling to people with assault weapons to charge at mayors and governors and against innocent protesters who are peacefully protesting. I mean, that's one of the things that keeps us a democracy is protesting. And by and large, the protesters are peaceful. The only people attacking them are extreme ultra right wing fanatics. Yeah, we got to heal. I mean, I think defund the police doesn't mean defund the police. It means they need checks and balances that are
By
real.
the way, I think that's a terrible term. They picked the wrong
Yeah, it is.
term.
I know.
A terrible
But
term.
it made the point. It got attention, but you're right, because it's not really, it's not exact or correct, and it triggers everybody. Absolutely. But, you know, I didn't pick it, but you're right. I mean, because defunding the police does not mean defunding the police. It means taking out maybe a little percentage, 10% of that, and giving it to Latin and Black
Right,
communities to
right.
help, you know, community service and programs. But it does mean accountability. We need accountability with the police. I mean, what I saw there with Jacob Blake was one of the saddest things I've ever seen in my life.
And the
After
aftermath,
George
what
Floyd,
happened
yeah,
this week?
yeah,
In insanity with the two protesters killed.
yeah, yeah.
It's horrifying. All right, I want our listeners to check out Critical Thinking. Congratulations to you, John Leguizamo, on your directorial debut. He also
Thank you.
stars in Critical Thinking. It is a movie that we need for our times. If you missed any part of this interview, you can catch up with it on my podcast, Sunstein Sessions. You just download the iHeartRadio app. It's free. And again, I wish you well. I can't wait to see you back on Broadway.
Yeah. Me too. I can't wait.
And back.
We'll be back. I
theaters.
promise you, we're going to be back in theaters sometime next year. We will. I mean, theater's going to be stronger and better than ever. I'm telling you, everybody's writing like crazy. Lin-Manuel, all the great playwrights, everybody is going to have too much content.
Thank you, John Leguizamo, and all of you stay safe.
New York's classic rock, Q104.3.